In the soldiers' camp. Dharmadev had two brothers who were soldiers in the Nawab's army. One day, Dharmadev and Ghanshyam went to visit them. The army was camped in a huge park called Badki Gardens. There were many tents for the soldiers and the king, and there were rows of horses and elephants tied up. Guarding the entrance to the camp was a huge soldier called Gurbaks. Dharmadev and Ghanshyam approached the entrance and introduced themselves. Gurbaks knew Dharmadev's brothers and let them both enter. Inside the camp, everyone was busy. Some soldiers were sharpening their swords. Some were attending to the elephants. Some were shoeing the horses. Others were cooking. Everywhere there was bustle and hustle. It was all so new and exciting for the young Ghanshyam. Then, near where a group of soldiers were cooking, Ghanshyam saw that goats and sheep were being slaughtered for food. The poor animals were bleating and frightened. Dharmadev and Ghanshyam were horrified to see the sight. Ghanshyam closed his eyes and began to meditate. As he did so, the elephants and horses began to get restless. They began to trumpet and whinny, stamping their feet. Wilder and wilder they became. Then one elephant broke free from its chains. Then another, and another, and another. The horses broke free from their ropes and began to jump around wildly. It was chaos. The soldiers began to run hither and thither, trying to escape from the crazed animals. The king heard the commotion and came out of his tent. Seeing the animals going wild, he too panicked and ran for his life. He climbed a big tree and sat there in the branches, shaking and scared and calling out to God. But all this time, Ghanshyam just stood there quietly. No animal went near him and Dharmadev. After some time, Ghanshyam opened his eyes and walked toward the tree where the king was hiding. Taking hold of the tree, he began to shake it violently. The king became more scared, fearing he would fall down. He pleaded with Ghanshyam to save his life. Then Ghanshyam spoke to him. "You may be a great king, but by killing all those innocent animals, you and your army are committing a terrible sin. Unless you stop, you also will be killed." The frightened king readily agreed. Then Ghanshyam stopped shaking the tree and raised his arms in the air. Suddenly, all the animals calmed down, and the elephants and horses went back to their rows. All the soldiers stood and stared. Everything was quiet and hushed. Clambering down from the tree, the king threw himself at Ghanshyam's feet. Never had he seen such power, and that too from a young boy. Looking up at Ghanshyam, he spoke, "My power is nothing compared to yours, my lord. From this day forward, there will be no killing of animals in my camps." Seeing the great king at the feet of the young Ghanshyam, all the soldiers gathered round, calling out the name of Ghanshyam and praising him loudly.